Dear diarrhea, diary full of shit. Just plan on me, myself, and I. No one else here. Young, so legit. I've noticed, and I thought this might happen because it happened the night before last. You know, this is kind of like a work in progress. I'm kind of gauging what's happening with this tooth. I knew what happened generally is generally what would happen. But this is a little bit different because, it's infected. This is a different game. I think I'm going to be alright, and I won't have any more shitty, episodes where I'm in pain. The nerve is since, retracted back up into the gum, but I've still got the infection. I'm on antibiotics, and I just take a pain pill for good measure, if I need it, She recommended alternating, taking a Tylenol. The directions say, 2 every 6 hours. The ibuprofen, which she recommended, I guess that's better for pain, I don't know. Alternating and taking like a Tylenol, at 9 a.m. and then an ibuprofen at noon and a Tylenol at 3 p.m. and an ibuprofen at 6, and me being me, I'm like, nah, I think I'm going to disregard that advice, doc. This just seems like too many pills to me. And of course she said only take them if you need them, which is what the directions say. So I figure, okay, I'll do the same thing I'm doing every 6 hours. But, I'll take a Tylenol at 9 a.m. and a ibuprofen at 3 if I need it. And just for good measure, so if I don't need it at 3, then I'll take the ibuprofen. Or regardless of what, rotation I'm on. It sounds like apparently ibuprofen works better. I'll have to Google that, which medicine works, which over-the-counter, pain reliever works best for, whatever it is, headaches, toothaches, body aches, Now, mind you, it's the internet, so, you'll get 3 different answers just all as an option. Because I typed in, the average salary, the yearly salary for Coloradans, and I literally got 3 different answers right there in the same fucking screen. So it's all horse shit. So, and unfortunately, that's the game. If it's anything of any importance, you need to look up like at least 5 different things. And if they all sort of match, then it's like, okay. Now, if they're all over the place, then it's like, okay. No, it depends. And it can be circumstantial to... There's many variables that come into play, whatever it is. And you have to take that into consideration, too. What are you looking at? What variables could affect it? Location, demand, price of of what it is you're looking at. Is there an extreme range? If you're looking at blenders, they're pretty much all going to be the same price. If you're looking at cars, obviously there's going to be a $70,000 difference in there, depending on what you're looking at. And just whatever, man. But it's there. You don't have to get on the phone, because then you're dealing with a person. It's like, oh, you go anywhere else, whatever, But unfortunately, you have to take, 30 minutes, search the internet, write shit down, brand names, price, location. And I use shopping as an example, but it could be anything, It's that's how society works. That's like how economies work. It depends on how much, it just depends on what people are doing, and what their priorities are, and what they're spending money on and what they're voting on. As a consumer and liver in a society, you know, you need to pick these things. You need to be aware of these things. What's the economy doing? You know, and all that shit, which I am not. But I'm going to start. And unfortunately, it requires, you know, just once a week or whatever, allocate some time. Use the information that's been availed to you. Go into your office that you haven't made yet in your house. I have a desk in there. But I don't have a desktop printer with a keyboard. And or computer, I mean, and fax machine and all that shit. Go indoors, take, you know, 30 minutes to an hour on your own time, doing your own thing, and just get up to speed on what the fuck the world is doing, so you can make your moves. I have a laptop, I just don't use it. But I'd like to go ahead and get a desktop, just because, I don't know, it's never going to leave the house. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, my mom's computer is technically a desktop. But I was just thinking about, you know, the future, and if there's going to be a depression coming or whatever, you know, how to make your money and make your money work better for yourself as far as opening the CDs and stuff goes. Those can be very lucrative, you know what I mean? But even if it's just a little bit of money, generally speaking, you know, you can't touch it for 6 months, but if you do, the penalty is you don't get the interest. But generally speaking, if you put a, you know, $100,000 into a CD and just let that make interest on top of doing the stock market thing, you know, you got your mutual funds and your IRAs, and then you got, like I said, you got your bank account. You need to diversify your money. You need to have something just set aside. Like I said, that way if something happens, you're not pulling from your main pile of acorns. You've got something set away. And that's like a little trick, you know, the human psychology 101. No. Don't just keep adding to your acorns, because then you lose track of things. Like, oh yeah, I got a giant fucking pile of nuts. But no, you still have to, and I need to do this, and I'll do this very, very soon. It's just, you know, like I said, the drinking and stuff, man, it's my kryptonite, or whatever. I'll do it next week. Been saying that you've been saying that forever, man. But you know, you need to have a house fund, you know, with like $50,000 in it. And here's the thing, it takes a lot of money to live. A lot. Now you can live on the cheap and the down low, but, you know, I like to be comfortable. You know, like I said, I have a house with 2 living rooms. It's not necessary. It's got vaulted ceilings. You could play football in my house. Not very effectively, but, you know, it could be done. And I'm going to set it up real nice. And it's just me. And I could lose it all tomorrow. I could very easily do the van life thing and this, that, and the other. But this is way more house than a guy like me needs. And I'm going to have my shed out here and all this shit, you know, that I've been talking about for the last 2 years since I moved in here. Oh my fucking God, man. And you find out it's just a little old worthless nobody me, you know, with all my vehicles, all my equipment that I'm going to have and this, that, and the other. It's like, good fucking God, man. You know? And they find out I'm just some loser bachelor. All my terrible fellows, every single one of them, you know, it's like, no. And like I said, you know, the bachelor of bitches, they're not going to be burying me for my money. That's why I'm like, well, you little hussy, so you want to marry me just for my company and all that shit, and then, you know, I divorce you and you take half your money back? No. We're going to have to come up with some other way. You know, you're trying to keep me on the hook, you know, and Oh shit, and you don't need to go through with this whole hug around thing. You can just stay married to me. You can have all of my money, and me. We can have me. Yeah, I can have you. Right. That's the plan. But yeah, I think if there's a depression coming up, I don't think people are going to be buying RVs. In fact, they'll be selling RVs or living in them. They won't be taking trips. So the timeshare thing might not be a good idea, and the storage facility thing might not be a good idea, because they're going to sell their shit. They're going to go down to minimalism by default. And they're going to get tired of shit, and they're going to vote for things that make sense. They're going to realize that the handouts bite them in the end. Free money equals higher prices. Higher wages mean layoffs due to AI and all that shit. They're going to come to realize that. But I don't know, people are just, Future Best of Cool Breeze just recently did one. I noticed it was live the other night, so I'll watch it, today. I think the title was that people are too dumb to realize. And I had mentioned that briefly in one of my all over the place, spurred out audio presentations. People don't understand. They don't get it. When people do things like lower taxes and print money, it equalizes. And they do know this shit, these politicians, And I believe it was Ronald Reagan way back in the day. There's a clip of him. I'm one of them. I'm dumb. I don't understand this shit. I just know if it's nothing. Basically, your only option is to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's it. It equals out. So lower taxes, mean higher prices somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's factored in. I know that. Know what you don't know, and I don't know a lot, but god damn it, at least I'm aware of it. It's like there's something fishy here. I don't know what it is, but this ain't right. You're telling me I get to keep my money? Bullshit, I am. So he offers courses on that probably. He's a smart guy, my future bestie. Here's the thing though, so is my dad. He's a businessman, so he thinks in those terms, long term. So they pulled a sneaky move. This latest election shit, voting on policies and whatnot. Like I said, I don't even really remember what it was. I don't participate in that shit, but it was bullshit. I mean, it was like mafioso shit. Look, you can do this or you can do that. We know you're going to vote for that, but we're going to push this and that. So if you vote for that, we also, by default, you voted for this. And it's like, seems like that ought to be fucking illegal. You know what I mean? They just grouped, two things together. So, okay. These fucking scum, they're voting for their raises. Getting goddamn well that shit ain't going to taxes or parks and schools and roads. That money's going to their way of life, their wifey poo, and their 2 to 5 kids. Fucking scumbags. But anyway. But I was kind of thinking, I need to make my money, start working, making more money for itself. And I need to set away some funds, just to have. And, I can just have as many as I need. I can have, like $5,000, car repair fund. And like I said, I'm going to have a hoist, so I'll start doing a lot of that stuff myself. Which is why I want to start, always drive older vehicles, so I can just swap out a part, and their purpose of making cars harder to work on. Uncle Tony's Garage has talked about that. He's like proving it. He's like, this is the proof right here. They did this on purpose because they either want you to take it to a dealership or they want you to buy a new car. They don't want people working on their own cars. The engineers designed this. You know, it's like the proof is in the pudding. This was designed this way. But my future bestie Cool Breeze had mentioned a broad he knows who's well off. You know, she's real smart, and as sort of a extra, well, that too maybe, income, she bought a donut truck, or maybe it was just a donut machine. I'm assuming it's a truck, maybe, I don't know. That way it's just easier. You just drive the truck to high traffic locations such as fairs, festivals, you know, stuff like that. If there's like the town of Broomfield in Colorado, which is a higher end neighborhood in my opinion, they have something called Broomfield Days, which like lasts for at least 3 days, maybe 5 to 7. I think I hear a tractor out there. Good God, it's kind of early to be doing stuff. But unless you're making hay or something, but ain't no hay crops out here, hay fields, or whatever you're doing, corn. You got a job to do. You're not just mowing your weeds. But that's always something I secretly wanted to do. Have like 100 acres and make hay. Maybe. Just kind of for fun, really. Even, you know, because I did a lot of that stuff as a kid. Helping out with that stuff, like the whole process. With older tractors and whatnot, and picking it up out of the field. Throwing it up on a trailer and all that good stuff. Done a lot of cool shit, and then of course the ranch work and all that stuff. Cattle ranch, even a horse ranch. It was like up in the mountains. It was very pristine. Like real shit, not just dude ranch shit. But anyway, all that stuff. Never came of age. I was like a kid, but I was old enough where, you know, I could, like if I really had to in hard times, I could learn to, you know, rope and ride a horse. I could become a rancher. But I was close enough, you know, like I said. But anyway, oh, could you now? Could you now? Did I just hear you right? Yes, you did. But you know, in hard times, fuck yeah. Looking for a ranch hand. You ever, you know, what's your experience? Helping my uncle over the summers between the ages of, you know, 10 and 14. Does that count? He's gonna have to. Just looking at me with a smirk. Gonna be a rough couple months, dude. Oh, I know. You either gonna fall in there or you ain't. We ain't gonna hold your hand. We expect you to toe the line. Well, I know exactly what you expect, because I did all of it. Anyway. But anyway, but that's low overhead, because instead of all the different food types, which are labor intensive, because you have to make a burrito or a cheeseburger or Philly cheesesteak or whatever, you just have one ingredient, dough, or maybe like funnel cake dough, so like 2 ingredients, and you basically just make it in different configurations with different frostings and fillings. You know, so you just push that stuff up in there and dip it in some frosting or whatever, and there you go. Maybe sell some chocolate milk, you know, with a lid and a straw. If it's summertime, people are going to want refreshing shit too, so maybe also offer snow cones and shit. Low overhead, high customer flow in a high traffic area. You know, maybe that's something my honeyboo could kind of look into. Now, if she wants kids, obviously that changes the game. That's going to be odd. But if that's what she wants, you know, it's doable. I'm old as fuck and whatnot, but sperm is cheap, eggs are expensive, so whatever. At that point, she's going to want to be a stay-at-home wife and mother, as she should be. Did you know a lot of Gen Zers can't read? That is knuckin' futz, man. I guess they figure, well, the schools will teach them that. God, people are stupid. We're so fucking screwed. You know? It's the first developmental years, you know, they're so important, you know. Interaction, you know, stimulus, you know, visually, audio, physical, playtime. You know, like the first, like, 2 years, I hear even. Or maybe it's 5. But, you know, if you want to set them up, you know, with in front of the TV or something, which I would not recommend, set them up, you know, with some toys that they can't get in trouble with and that they can put in their mouth and choke on, of course. But some kid-friendly shit, you know, they gotta build shit and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, if you're a stay-at-home wife or mother or father, you're cooking dinner, you're cleaning or whatever, you know, you're maintaining the house. So every now and then stop and go interact with your kid. You know, because that's kind of your life. You know, everything else is just sort of maintaining. Even your job. I mean, yes, you're a big picture, you're part of a big picture. You're a functioning member of society. But you also, you know, you do it so you can provide for your family. You know, so you got to strike that balance. But that's goal number 1. You know, you're trying to raise a functioning member of society who's going to grow up, who has a head on their shoulders, who is smart, who can be happy, or at least be contentful. You know, because you can't, like that song, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, just might find you get what you need. Bye, 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 bye. Okay. Everybody wants, you know, happiness. Everybody wants love and all that shit. A lot of people are opting out for that these days, and they're becoming more hedonistic and all that shit. And it's going to be interesting, you know. Dude's not working, and what's going to happen to the economy? I'm not sure. I'd have to sit down and think about shit and just, you know, like I said, once a week, you know, take some time and just research life. You know, I don't have the type of job where I have to, like, take my work home with me or anything. You know, I don't have to do research for that. But, you know, when I clock out, I clock out. I just need to be up on the times. And like I said, my honey boo, whoever that lucky bachelorette might be, because we just don't know yet, do we? Boo again, you know. It's between you and Bundle Baby for 2 reasons. Number 1, because I secretly kind of like you the best. Well, secretly, it just is what it is. But secondly, because it's going to be the easiest transition to Colorado. You know, Boo, welcome back. You're home now. Bundle Baby, you'll like it here. You're a sweet, cute little Canadian chick. Oh, you're kind of tall, I think. And Los Angeles thing. Now you're doing the New York thing. You know, ooh, doing your thing. You know, got to do your thing, right? Lived in California and New York, right? Check. Well, come on over to Colorado. I guarantee you'll like here. We got the smog, we got the traffic, we got the fucking assholes. We got the fucking progressives. We got all that shit. We got the Rocky Mountains, you know, skiing in the winter, hiking and biking in the summer. Lakes and shit. Want to go out and do the boat and the bikini thing, do some water skiing. You know, we got reservoirs. We got, you know, you'll like it here, girl. So that's kind of secretly kind of in the back of my mind, as opposed to SC or Farkles. You know, they're going to have to, like, move and, you know, abandon what they've known, you know, for their whole adult life, or their whole life, basically. And, you know, it's just kind of is what it is. So anyway, and fucko, fucko, she's a I'm trying to think, she's dead weight. Well, that's the wrong word. She's just there. So, anyway. Because she lives in Jersey, and I know she's like, oh, because I've said that before when I was blowing smoke up her ass. You're going to have to give up all your friends now. You're gonna have to acquire new ones. You know, like I said, we'll visit. You know, and we'll alternate Christmas here, Thanksgiving there. Next year, you know, flip it. Oh, that poor girl. She's so fucking in love with me. It's pitiful. It's ay ay ay. And I don't give a shit about any of you. But I could. I could. I really could. So, anyway, just sort of sitting here thinking, because, well, shit be so real, yo.